Why, hello there. Okay, so if you want to know why we're here 5 minutes late and you see the ticker on the screen at the very beginning, it said Black History Fact, it's because we were in the middle of our Black History Fact when we realized that, in fact, we were not streaming to the right place.
Yeah.
Man.
So that was fun.
Man, we had a nice little intro and everything, man. We got well into it. We read the comments. Let me bring the comments back up. Oh man, it's not even here anymore. You're gonna see the behind the scenes. This threw me all off. Sorry guys, hold on a second. You're gonna get some you're gonna get my dashboard for a second. Shout out to Tony Hendo. I saw him in there. Shout out to D Weezy.
Shout out to Matt, Deshaun, Derek, everybody.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We were trying to get this multi-stream going. You know, we used to stream on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, and it's not working for us. But you know, we're gonna get that going. Oh, look who's here, Felipe Moreno. What's going on, Felipe? He says, hold on. He says Sauce Gardner will lock Chase next year. Listen,
No, you won't.
Listen,
just stop.
Listen, I hope he does. Just not for this team. I don't want Sauce Gardner, yo. I do not. We're gonna talk about that. Don't worry. We're gonna talk about our obsession with getting defense, regardless of what we need on offense. All right. Yeah. Shout out to Matt.
Things were Williams, going man. Well. Felipe has put me in a bad mood for the restart of the show.
Man, that was a nice opening we did too, man. It sucks you couldn't see it. Just Aloe, what's going on? He says, "What's up, party people? What's up with you, man?" Alfonso Richardson, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming through. Couch Rider Raven, what's up, man?
What's up, Couch?
We got Omar B. He says, "What's good, fellas? What's good with you?" And Deshaun, the champ, is here. Deshaun 91 says, "I tried to tell him that, but B and Jose said I was crazy." You are crazy. Yeah, you're a crazy person. You're a crazy champion. That's what you are. You're a crazy champion. Yo, we got our guy Mikey from Off the Record Podcast. Also from Mikey? Ring Kings Podcast. Make sure you subscribe. All right. Yes. So real quick before we get started, you see the link down there. That's for our merch. Okay. If you like the dope merch that we're wearing right over there, what B's wearing right there, you can go right there to lbhtshow.com/shop and get you something from the store. Also, if you're looking for the super chat, we don't do super chat. But there are two ways you can get a highlighted comment. One is right below B, $ LBHT Show. That's for the Cash App. The other way is to hit up that link in the chat box. Okay, that'll take you to our Streamlabs. Either way, you can leave your donation, leave your comment, and we will read it on air. Okay, and we will get started. But first, we start every show with a Black History Fact, and B has a Black History Fact for you.
Part two. So like I said before, in honor of us starting up Ring Kings Podcast, which is a boxing podcast, like Jose said, go ahead and search that on YouTube and hit that subscribe button, and Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and all that. I figured we would go boxing again with the Black History Fact. We talked before about Jack Johnson, who was the first Black heavyweight champion, but he was not the first Black champion, period. For that, you kind of have to go much farther back for a kind of unofficial champion, right? So starting back in 1784, Tom Molyneux was born a slave in Virginia. And, as he grew up, he kind of got into bare knuckle boxing. And, they would hold little tournaments and the plantation owners would bet on them. And he got so good that he was winning all his fights, winning a lot of tournaments. And I guess his plantation owner made a big bet on one of his fights, won a ton of money, and gave Tom Molyneux $500 and his freedom. So he won his freedom, by boxing, by bare knuckle boxing. And he decided that he was going to get up out of the United States. Nice. And he went over to England. And he started up a boxing career there. They had a guy, Tom Cribb, who was kind of recognized as the champion of England. So Tom Molyneux had a few fights. He won a few fights, and then he challenged Tom Cribb. And, this is back when there was no judging. There was no round limit. It was just you go until somebody can't go anymore. So they fought. Everybody thought it was going to be 10 rounds or less. It was going to be an easy walkthrough for Tom Cribb, but they ended up going much longer than that. In the 19th round, the fans kind of closed in. They charged the ring a little bit because I guess they got a little bit bored. They were allowed to have kind of grappling at that point in boxing, and so the two of them kind of locked up and they couldn't get free. Fans didn't like that. They kind of rushed the ring, and once they got that cleared, each fighter had about 30 seconds to get back to ready. And there's a dispute as to whether or not Tom Cribb made it back in time. And if he didn't, that would have given Molyneux the win, but the referee wasn't sure, so he said, fight on. They went on for another 16 rounds. After the 34th round, Tom Molyneux told his corner, can't continue. They talked him into fighting. He went out in the 35th round and got knocked out. So he ended up losing that fight. But he went on, and he had about 4 or 5 more fights. He fought Tom Cribb again. He unfortunately lost again. But he had some other wins, and then he ended up retiring not too long, about 5 years later. After that, Tom Molyneux, things kind of didn't go well. He fell into alcoholism. He lost all his money, and he ended up passing away at the age of 34 in Ireland. And he was kind of buried in an unmarked grave because he was penniless and But recently, Katie Taylor, the top female boxer in the world, unveiled a new headstone in Galway, Ireland, where Tom Molyneux passed away. So people can actually go and visit it now, and they can tell his story and make everybody aware of a pretty significant fighter from a long time ago.
Excellent story, man. And we said it before, man, like a lot of times these Black History facts, they don't, they don't have happy endings a lot of times, and it's sad. And honestly, that is a fighter's life a lot of times, they, especially, the early stages before it was called prize fighting. We're talking about bare knuckle boxing.
He was a pugilist.
Yes. Right. So, made a little money in the beginning, and, when you're on top and you can do that, you can put on a spectacle, you can make a little money, but a lot of times that money goes into, dulling the pain, because, CTE and all that stuff was still real back then. They just didn't have a diagnosis for it, right? Brain damage and all that stuff. And how do you deal with it? You get hooked on alcohol and drugs and all that stuff to fight it off. And that's where your money goes in the end. So sad ending, but very interesting and important fact, I believe. So let's read a couple more comments. Our guy Eric L says, "What's up, big timers? What's up with you, Eric L? Thanks for coming through." Yes. Yeah, Just Al says that was nice of her. Yeah, that was a very nice gesture. Yeah. Shout out to Kimberly Harmon. She says, "What's up? What's up with you, Kimberly? Thanks for coming through. Thank you for coming through to the live stream." Omar B wants to know, do we do Zelle? We don't have Zelle.
We do not have Zelle.
We do not have Zelle.
Cash App, we got the Streamlabs, and we got the Patreon.
Yeah, if he wants to donate, and I appreciate that, man. You can click that link that's in the chat box. It's pinned to the chat box. Don't be scared of the link. Don't be scared. Just go in there, just click the link, and you have different ways you can pay there. I think, credit card, PayPal, different ways on there. And then you can leave your comment and little widgets and all that stuff, and it'll pop up right on the screen right there. All right? But I appreciate that. Dandy is here. Oh, yeah, she's letting them know. They have a Cash App, $ LBHT Show. Thank you, Dandy. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And Derek says, B dropping real life facts, good and bad. That is the truth. Speaking of some other truths. Well, do we want to start with the bad, or we want to get into the good with the playoffs?
We'll go ahead with the super wild card matchups.
Okay. All right. So. Okay. All right. Ravens aren't in it, but that's okay because we love football, right? And we're excited about some playoff football. Okay. Yeah. And it's important that we get a look at these other teams. Okay. We want to see what they're working with for next year, because while we are pumped about getting our players back and healthy, and we want to put the league on notice, some of these teams are already there. Okay. They're already there, and like the Chiefs, and they're only going to get better. And the Titans, who have a lot of injuries as well. The Bills. So
I know Ravens fans don't want to hear that, but the Bills are better than you.
yeah. So all right, which game do you want to start with?
Well, the Saturday games are Las Vegas and Cincinnati and New England and Buffalo.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So, Cincinnati and Las Vegas, I hope and I expect Cincinnati to beat the brakes off of the Raiders. I don't think that one's going to be close. I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are going to light them up.
I don't know, man. Like the Bengals are that type of team where you feel like they would, and then they go and lose to the Jets. You know, they'll have a big win, then they lose to the Browns. No disrespect, Matt. I see you in there. Matt's already in the chat. You know, he's going on his rant.
The Raiders are the type of team to allow 6 fourth-down conversions when you had the game locked up. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
That's true. Look, I'm picking the Bengals. This is going to be their first playoff win in how long, B?
Since 1991, I believe. 91 or 92.
Okay, all right. And guys, look, guys and gals, man, put your picks in there. Okay, we're gonna go through these games and let us know who you're taking. I am taking. Wait, this is it's going to be in Cincinnati. Yes. Yeah. So I'm taking the Bengals, man. The Bengals lose at home. There's no hope. This is no hope. All right. And shout out to Matt. Matt says Browns and Ravens got screwed the most by COVID and health. Look, I don't like excuses here. I don't. The Titans had just as many injuries, almost as many injuries. You know, everybody gets hit with COVID. Everybody. And then the number 1 seed. I just don't like excuses. Right. Like Lamar didn't play great. And I thought the coaching was terrible. The defense sucked. Like everything sucked. Right? Like I'm just like I don't want to hear it. We weren't playing well before the injuries piled up, so that's not an excuse. And Baker sucked too. So Garnett West, what's up, Garnett?
Hold on,
he says, fellas, hey, and shout out to Garnett, man. I was in his spaces earlier, man. We were chopping it up for a long time, man. That was a good spaces. So shout out to you. And if you're on Twitter, make sure you give him a follow. Put your handle in there. I think it's Neil West something now because Twitter had
because Garnett's on the run.
What's up, Ferris? Ferris says it was a close game against the Jets. Yeah. Yeah. Dandy says she's got the Raiders. Okay, she's got the Raiders.
Disgusting.
Let's see. Just Aloe says the Titans and Bills are 2 teams that spent money and resources putting players around the quarterback. Big facts. Mm-hmm. Big facts. Yes. Derek said, Jose said the Raiders have good character. I never said that. Don't quote me now. Oh, man, there's a few people taking the Raiders here. Okay. Omar B says 24-17 Raiders. Okay. They're picking the upset. If this was in Vegas, I would be more inclined. But, man, at home the Bengals lose? Yikes. I can't pick that. Yeah, Ferris. He says the jungle, man. Yeah, just Al says Bengals will win easily. Okay. Zaul Martinez, thanks for coming through. He says Los Raiders can pull it off by fourth quarter is a touchdown or less. Okay. Couch Rider says Raiders. Wow, you guys you really believing in the Raiders. Listen,
that's something.
Look, I'll say this. It's the playoffs, and this year, man, like up is down, down is up. So I can't look.
Anything can happen.
Yes.
But I can't see myself, fixing my mouth to pick a Derek Carr led team in an important game. I can't do it.
He's got playoff experience though.
Does he? I thought this was their first time.
Nah.
I thought this was Derek's first time.
I think he's been there once. Yeah. He's been once.
No. Because remember the year that they were going and he was an MVP candidate, he broke his ankle or whatever it was right at the end of the season.
That's right. They went, but he didn't. Oh man. Yeah. So sad. So sad.
Which sucks, man. I say that about Derek. I like Derek, man. He seems like a good guy. He's a good leader. He's out there. He's doing all the right things. I just don't believe that they're going to win.
All right. Felipe Marino says Raiders will upset the Bengals. Max Crosby and Yannick will go after Burrow. All right. Ferris says 34-14 Bengals. That's what I'm thinking.
There you go.
That's what I'm thinking. But listen, this is, man, all right. That's what I'm talking about, okay? That's what I'm talking about. This playoff football time. Put it out there. What's up, Mama Weezy? She says, yes, the Bengals. Okay. Nitro says, I'm here to tell them, guys, no excuses. That's right.
Yes. All right, we got to move on to this next game because we're already behind.
I know. We're going to be here for a while. This is going to be a 2-hour show.
And Patriots. That's New England traveling to Buffalo. That's the late game on Saturday. I am taking Buffalo. I do not believe a single bit in Mac Jones.
Yeah. I can't. I was thinking about it. Look, shout out to the Patriots, man. Well-coached team. Because Mac Jones is not good. Guys, don't let anybody tell you Mac Jones can play football. He can't. He sucks. But he's doing what the coach. This is what every coach thinks that they can get away with, right?
Yeah.
This is what every coach thinks they can get away with. I just need a guy that will follow my directions, and I'll take care of the rest. This is what everybody thinks that they can do with their quarterback, right? With the quarterback that they want. Initially they'll say, hey, he doesn't have to be great. He just needs to do what I tell him to do, and I'll take, run my plays to the T, and we'll win. But most of the time, these coaches find out they're not really that good at their job, right? And you're going to need your quarterback to improvise. And, when they can't do that, you have a terrible record. But Belichick is, arguably the greatest of all time. So when he says, I just need you to do what I tell you to do, exactly how I tell you to do it, you can do it and pull off a lot of wins. Now, it ain't going to be good enough to beat the Bills. All right. Like, they got that one win in that typhoon earlier in the season. But that second game, the Bills kind of took over that game. It'll be competitive just because they're division rivals. But I think the Bills run away with that.
I don't think they run away with it. I think that Josh Allen throws at least one pick to J.C. Jackson. I think, though, that Mac Jones turns it over a couple times and Buffalo wins on a late score.
Okay. Late score. All right. Just Al says Bills 28-17. Put your picks in there, guys. Mr. Freestyle, thank you for joining the live stream. He says Patriots. All right. Omar B says Patriots will short the field. All right. He said he doesn't trust Josh Allen at all. Hey, man. He's got playoff experience too. He's got 2 playoff wins.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Dandy says she doesn't trust Josh Allen either. He's been shaky this year. Yeah, that's true. I'm rooting for Judon. Patriots win 23-20. Oh, okay. All right. Y'all picking the upsets. Deshaun says Bills by 2 scores. I'm kind of thinking that way too. I'm picking blowouts for the favorites, and I have a just a little feeling in my gut that I could be wrong on all these picks.
Yeah. So moving on to Sunday, I think we've got 3 blowouts on Sunday. Honestly.
Okay.
The first game, the Eagles and Tampa. Great season from Philly. Nick Sirianni did what nobody thought he could do. He took that team. He took them to the playoffs in the first year. They look like one of the least talented teams in the league. Jalen Hurts played fairly well this season, and helped them get just enough wins to sneak in there. I think Tampa has their way with them, though. Honestly.
Yeah. No, I think that will be a little bit closer than people think, man. Because Tampa's another team, man. Every team this year has shown you at least one game where you're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but it's go time now, and Tampa Bay are champions, and it's like they say, it's winning time, and they're not going to mess around and play around with the Eagles.
I think going into the playoffs with no AB is gonna mess things up just a little bit. It's gonna get a little shaky.
They got Gronk, they got Mike Evans, they're getting Fournette back as well as Gino Bernard. They're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, I'm going Tampa. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I think it's going to be like last year. The first round for them, it was a competitive game with Washington, and they pulled it off at the end, but it was closer than people.
Well, I don't see Taylor Heineke suiting up for Philly. So I don't know what we're talking about here.
Deshaun says Tampa by 3 scores, maybe 4. Danny says Tampa by 14. All right, it's been decided to. Yeah. That's a blowout. It's a blowout.
Yeah. Next up, we've got the San Francisco 49ers, who just snuck into the playoffs against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
This is another one. I think Dallas wins big, man. I really do. And, you know, I'm noticing that I'm picking all of the favorites here, and I know it's not going to go that way. But I can't, especially on these Sunday games, I can't see these upsets. I don't see Jimmy Garoppolo, you know, putting up more points than Dak Prescott. I don't see him getting away with. Now, Trayvon Diggs is not a very good corner, but he's a great ball hawk. And I think he's going to get Jimmy at least once. I think he's got a pick six in him on Sunday.
Yeah. Dallas is going to go far. It's going to be Dallas and Green Bay in the NFC Championship game. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but yeah, Dallas wins big. I agree. I agree.
And
no, go ahead.
Last up on Sunday, we got our guy Suge, his Pittsburgh Steelers against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, hold on. Tony says San Francisco 2014. Okay, he's calling it upset.
All right, Tony.
All right, Tony. Mr. Freestyle says 49ers by 10. Look.
By
I got
10.
G-Star 007 says 49ers. What? You guys just want to go opposite of us on everything today. Deshaun says that'll be the closest game of the wild card weekend.
Closer? Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so the last game for Sunday, Pittsburgh and Kansas City. Yeah, Pittsburgh is not a good team. They don't have a good quarterback. They don't have a good run defense, but they tend to stick around, right?
Yes.
They've done that a lot. They almost came back from, it was like 20 down against the Chargers a few weeks ago. You know, they hang around. They make games ugly. They make games tight, and a lot of times they find a way to win. I said yesterday, just in the comments of Suge and Colin's show, Real Sports, that I think this one's going to be over by halftime. Kansas City wins big, and I'm sticking with that.
Yeah,
they're not going to stick around with Pat Mahomes.
I agree, and the chat agrees. They are getting disrespectful with these scores, though. My man Ferris says Chiefs by 40. All right.
Oh, good Lord.
Danity says Chiefs by 50. Tony Hendo says 45-13 Chiefs. Wow. Omar B says Chiefs by 30. Wow. Don't let Shook see this.
I wonder what fan base dominates our chat. That's weird. I don't remember a lot of Chiefs fans, but maybe somebody else related to that game.
Felipe says, imagine if the Steelers upset the Chiefs. Oh, we will have a lot to talk about.
If the Steelers upset the Chiefs, we'll have to have Suge on next week, and he's just going to take over the whole show.
I think
it's just going to be an hour of Suge ranting,
and I won't even disagree with anything he says. I'm like, yep, you're right, Suge. Keep going. Yeah. All right, Matt is being more reasonable. He says Kansas City by 10. I think it's going to be a lot more than that.
I honestly do. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up being close like that, but I think Kansas City's going to blow them out.
Yeah. Kimberly Harmon says Chiefs will beat the Steelers the way they better. They're way better teams. She says 49-3. 49-3.
Jesus.
49-3. Okay. Just Alice says Chiefs 34-10. All right. Man. Yikes. Raiders and 49ers are pulling an upset. That's what King Bird says. What's up, King Bird? Deshaun says Kansas City by however many scores is legally allowed.
Oh, y'all are messed up. We're moving on, man. Okay, Monday night, because we remember now it's a three-day weekend.
Hold on. I gotta read this from Nitro. What's up, Nitro? He says upset of the weekend: 24-27 Steelers are beating the Chiefs. Pat Mahomes 2 fumbles. All right, okay, we're going. All right, we'll leave it with that. Ferris, you're changing up your score. Now you're saying 36-10 Chiefs. Oh no. He's saying that's the first score. 36-10 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's true.
So Monday, because now your wild card weekend is a 3-day affair. Monday it is the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know how this happened, but traveling to the LA Rams to play against Matt Stafford, who led the league in interceptions. This is where I'm picking the upset. It's not a real upset, but I'm taking Arizona over the Rams.
Wait, are the Rams favored?
The Rams won the division. They're at home.
Damn. Yeah, I'm taking Arizona. Look,
yeah.
well, I mean, I don't know. I gotta rethink things.
They are 4-point favorites. The Rams.
I had to think about
really
this.
1-point favorites.
I was leaning heavily towards the Cardinals until they brought out the secret weapon. The Rams did today. You know what I'm talking about, baby. That's right. Eric Weddle has returned. Yes. Eric Weddle is back. You know he's going to get some significant playing time too, right? Like it's not going to be one of those.
How long has he been retired?
2 years.
And he's still younger than Brady, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like 37. Yeah. I want to say he's like 37.
Mm-mm.
So, okay. Listen. They've played our game long enough, B. The chat said, we've played your game long enough. We've talked other football teams. Now let's get to our team. Because Yolanda B, what's up, Yolanda? Yolanda says, why is Roman still employed by the Ravens? I was trying to make you guys cheer up a little bit, smile, get your mind off of the Ravens for a little while. It's playoff time. It's playoff time. This is great football time, man. This is a lot of fun. You know, unfortunately, the Ravens aren't going to be in the playoffs this year. That's just what it is, and we don't deserve to be. Look, you guys just talked about how bad the Steelers are going to lose. What do you think they were going to do to us?
Yeah,
because the Steelers were just better than us. I mean, we're being real about it. They're just better than us, right? Like, I mean, they beat us twice. They had the way better coach. They play more cohesively. They don't have the talent, but you know they're more cohesive. And look, it is what it is. And if they go out there and get stomped out, I'm gonna be saying, thank God that wasn't us. So now the question is, what do we do moving forward to stop making excuses for this team?
Because it seems like the Ravens organization is getting you prepared for Greg Roman to be back in 2022. You know, they've got their propaganda machine out there in full force telling you what a great job Greg did. Everybody's pointing to Lamar saying, oh, yeah, he did a great job. I love Greg, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they're kind of putting themselves behind the 8 ball in terms of getting a replacement if they eventually do let him go. Unless they never planned on conducting a search, which is, you know, what we talked about initially when they first hired T. Martin and Keith Williams, that, you know, once Greg Roman was out, it would be one of them stepping up to take over the offensive coordinator job, which is, you know, what it's going to have to be if they just kind of play around and let him stay on the staff for a week or so, and then everybody else gets hired, and then they let him go and promote somebody internally. But it could be that John Harbaugh said, no, he's my guy. We're gonna run it back.
So, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here, man, because I think it's obvious at this point that the team, like the players, aren't that they're not right for Greg Roman, right? Mm-hmm. There's been plenty of people just speaking out against Greg Roman. Like he is obvious on the field that he's just not getting it right. And yes, Harbaugh is loyal to his friends to a fault. And yeah, I could see
right
him
up until he's not.
Yeah, right until he's not. But again, that's where I put it on Eric DaCosta and Steve Bisciotti, because it's like I said before, if he decided on his own, like, you're not getting it done, you got to go, then that would make me have more faith in you. I put more confidence in you because you get it. But if I have to come and tell you your friend got to go, that's going to be a problem. Like, now I got to look at you this upcoming year. They have to look at Harbaugh anyway, because we said it a couple times on the show. We said it on Sunday. This is going to be year 5 with Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson. And there's never in the history of this sport, of this league, never been a head coach and quarterback combination that won a Super Bowl if they haven't done it in the first 5 years. So we're coming up on year 5 with Harbaugh and Lamar. If they don't win it next year, that's it. It ain't going to happen. So now it's the obvious question: who goes, Harbaugh or Lamar? And I think we know what the answer is.
Well, do we? Because look, Ravens fans and the organization and everybody involved should be ashamed of themselves. You got people, not opposing fans, you know, not people who hate Lamar Jackson, not trolls, but you've got people in the media, legit people in the media, asking, should they extend Lamar? Should they move on from Lamar Jackson because of the way that you've allowed that offense to languish? And, you know, again, We see people talking about Sauce Gardner or Kyle Hamilton or go get another edge rusher in the draft. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, it can't be both ways, right? You can't come in and say, man, if only they didn't have all these injuries, they would have been fine. And then also say, we've got to spend a top 15 pick on this defense. I mean, look how bad they were, right? Like, they've got Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Tavon Young. Right now, Anthony Aver, I understand he's a free agent. He may not come back. But you've got Chuck Clark, Deshaun Elliott. They should be re-signing him. But if they don't, they just drafted Brandon Stevens. Yes. You've got Patrick Queen. You've got Josh Bynes. You've got Malik Harrison. You've got Derek Wolfe coming back. I heard that was a big deal, right? That's what I heard. I heard not having Derek Wolfe mattered.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear about, getting somebody in there to add depth to one of these units on defense when you look at the offensive side of the ball and you straight up don't have a right tackle.
Right.
And you don't have you didn't get any injuries in the receiving core, and you don't have a top 20 receiver on the team.
Okay, let's get into it.
You don't have a top 5 wide receiver in your own division.
All right. Well, all right. So, I mean, we're in it now, right? Like, we have so many issues to tackle. One is on the coaching front, obviously. And second is, what are we doing this offseason in terms of like drafting and just building up this team? And we've argued with a couple of you guys, right? Shout out to Deshaun. Deshaun really is, and he's not the only one. A lot of people are high on Sauce Gardner. And they think if he's there with our first pick, we should get him. I think that is a terrible mistake. We just went over this. We just went through this 2 years ago with Patrick Queen, and most of you want Patrick Queen off the team now, or at least wanted him off the team halfway through the season. So why do you want to do the same thing again? We said it before. A defensive player isn't going to make a difference on this team, right? This team isn't anchored by its defense. So getting Sauce Gardner, which at this point, if Humphrey comes back healthy and Peters comes back healthy, which they should, where's he going to play? Right? Like, he's a rotational player. He's not going to be starting over either one of them. Those are two all-pro caliber corners, so he's not going to start over them. So you wasted a first-round pick on a guy that rotates in and out. Why? Right? And then you do that, and we're passing up on a guy who can anchor that right tackle spot that we desperately need. Right? Like, you have to start thinking in terms of what is going to help Lamar, because at the end of the day, Lamar is the best player on the team. He's clearly the one that's going to carry us to a Super Bowl. Nobody else can carry their weight on the team. Nobody. So what will make him better? Protection and weapons. So, people are arguing with us, we can't go wide receiver in the first round. Why not? Do we have the best wide receivers in the league? No. Are there wide receivers in this draft that we can get that are better than what we have? Yes. So upgrade, right? Mm-hmm. And we got a donation from Suge. Oh, man, Suge. He says, just stopping by to show love to Jose and Brodny. Happy birthday, Hendo. Yes, happy birthday, Hendo. We didn't even mention that. Happy birthday, Tony. It says, again, and hope everyone is staying safe. And I'll say it again. Christian Bale is a bad Batman. Hashtag LBHT crew. I'm not going to read that, sir, because Christian Bale was the best Batman. All right. Okay. Oh, we got No, okay. That was you that followed on Twitch.
Yeah.
Are we on Twitch?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. You got me excited for a second. I've been trying to get this stream up on Twitch as well, but don't worry about that, guys. You're fine. You're fine. Almighty D, what's going on? He says keep PQ and put a young vet next to him. We have a young vet, LJ Ford. Right? We have LJ Ford. We have Malik Harrison, who we drafted in the 3rd round. Right? Like, we have guys. So why do you want to get more guys? We drafted 2 young linebackers that are supposed to take over at linebacker, and now we're talking about we need a linebacker. Like, no, man. Like, stop worrying about the defense. Stop worrying about it. You know what we need? Mm-hmm. We need a defensive coordinator. That's what we need.
Because I just wanted to point out also, because Carolina went through last year. They went and they used every single pick on defense, right? Every pick they used on defense in the draft. Then they followed that up by drafting J.C. Horn in the top 10, the corner, over a franchise quarterback and over a franchise left tackle. And you know what? Then they went out and they traded for Stephon Gilmore, one of the top corners in the league. Then they traded for C.J. Henderson, who was a top 10 pick in the previous draft. They signed A.J. Bouye. They went out. They signed Hassan Reddick. They signed Frankie Louvu. So they put a lot into that defense,
and that's
why
well.
Preseason,
and they performed well.
Yeah, we thought, hey man, that's a top defense right there.
Yes.
And now the season's over, and in terms of yards per game, they were 4th in the league. So they performed. What did it matter? They won 5 games, and they won 5 games because the offense ain't right. You look at a team like the Rams, right? The Rams have Aaron Donald, best defensive player in the league, period. And then you move back a little bit, into the secondary, and they've got Jalen Ramsey, best corner in the league. They traded a couple first round picks to get him. Their pass defense sucks. Doesn't matter. But they still win games, and they won their division, and they're in the playoffs hosting a playoff game because their offense features Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, Tyler Higbee, and now they're getting Cam Akers back, and they've got a good O-line.
Yes.
The defense doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
All you need is a defense that's good enough to get a couple stops when you need it. You don't need a defense that's going to shut down top offenses because you can't build that anyway. But you can't rely on that consistently. You just need a defense who can come in and get you a couple stops when you need it, and you need an offense that can put up points. That's how you win.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to read a couple of comments here. Spooky J, what's going on, man? He says,
before you read that, we do have a new patron. I got Brandon Buck. Thank you so much for signing
shout out to you, Brandon. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. And Brandon's got a channel too. What's their what's your channel? Plug your channel, Brandon. It's Schmoby the Money. Mm-hmm. Right? Like if you guys know us, we have a lot of friends in the Schmodown community. If you don't know what Schmodown is, you need to check it out. Go to Let's Get Ready Network, go to Rock Real Entertainment, go to Schmo the Money. All those places, man. It's movie trivia, and I know you guys love movies. So, man, go follow our friends, man. They support us.
I also want to mention as well that Baltimore was the worst pass defense in the league, and they were 8-3 and number 1 in the conference until they lost Lamar Jackson. So
yeah, okay, all right. So Spooky J wants to know: are we hopping on any playoff bandwagons? Not hopping on any bandwagons. I mean, you talking about like, are we rooting for somebody to win it all? Chiefs. I want the Chiefs to go back and get another one, and I want Eric Bieniemy to actually get a serious look at head coach this year.
My pick to win it is the Chiefs. I think they beat Dallas in the Super Bowl, but I'm rooting for Dak to get a ring.
Yes.
I'm rooting for Pat to get another ring.
I'll tell you who I'm rooting for. Not Tom Brady. That's what I'm rooting for.
Outside of those two, I would, it's very early, but I would like to see Joe Burrow win. I like Joe Burrow a lot.
I like Joe Burrow, but I don't want to see him win.
Well, I'm not an AFC North fan, so it doesn't bother me. But yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win it. But there's several guys who I'll root for.
All right,
they got there.
Okay, just Aloe. How long after the season did it take for them to fire Morningwig? Not long. I mean, wait, technically he didn't get fired. He got offered a different position, then he didn't take it and he quit. All right, I'm going to run through these comments real quick, and then it's going to be time for some lunch money bets, and then we'll get back to the comments. We'll talk some more Ravens because this is a hot topic. They are typing in. They're typing in. All right, we got 40 people in here. Make sure you hit that like button. Yes. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe, all right? And if you're looking for a super chat, we don't do super chat. Hit up the Cash App or hit up the link in your chat box. Either one will take you to where you can do a highlighted comment. You can leave your donation. You can leave your comment, and a message will pop up on the screen. All right, Tony says, we are 6 in yards. Why let him go? Forget the fact that we can't score nor get to the line with reasonable time left on the clock. Bingo. Bingo. And, can't score. That's the main thing. Those are padded stats, getting those yards at the end of the games. Those are padded stats. Nitro says you have a couple of people speaking out against Lamar, then Greg Roman, bro, and the Ravens PR machine is already on full throttle for Roman. Yeah, I mean, look. let's put it out there. It's not like we don't know who we're talking about. Ryan Mink is out there pushing out the Ravens propaganda. I'm not even mad. He works for the Ravens.
No, I mean, yeah, we're not trying to say anything bad about Ryan. Ryan's doing his job.
Yes.
It's whatever.
That was boy, that was a reach. Boy, you talk about cherry picking. Boy, he picked a cherry. Like, I mean, of all the things you could talk about, and to his credit, well, at least initially he was just taking the hits. But people are like, what about scoring? What about red zone offense? What about this? He's just like, yeah, we need to work on that. That's fair. Your girl, what's her name?
Sarah Ellison.
Sarah Ellison. I like Sarah Ellison, man. She's real cool. She's real nice. But man, there are times where you don't need to say anything, right? I mean, it's a free country. You can say what you want, but you don't need to say anything, right? You don't need to go out there and start defending Greg Roman, especially after he called a bad game. And then try to throw other players under the bus, because she tried to throw Hollywood under a bus by saying, "Oh well, how come nobody's talking about him dropping passes?" Girl, I don't know where you've been, but all we do is talk about Hollywood dropping passes. So much so, B wants him off the team. He's like, "Yo, it's time."
Listen. I didn't say I want him off the team. I'm saying for Baltimore's sake, it would behoove them if they would move on from Hollywood if they're able to get a second-day pick. If they can get a second-day pick for Hollywood, trade him, draft a receiver, and you'll be better off.
Hey, I'm gonna put this back on screen. Shout out to our guy Brandon Buck, man. He with a $5 tip. He says, "You fellas produce great content. Want to support. Picks for the weekend: Cincinnati, Buffalo, Tampa, San Francisco, KC, and Arizona." Okay, my man. Appreciate you. Thank you, Brandon. Okay. Let's see. Kimberly says, "Hope JK and the guys come to the Ravens and the 2022 season healthy and strong." I agree.
Yeah,
I agree, but we still need more. Mr. Freestyle says, "I think it's too early to fire Harbs. If they fire him, look, it ain't too early. You got one more year. History says you don't get done next year, it ain't going to happen, right? So, but okay, if they fire him, both the coordinators will go too, and we would need a whole new staff." Yeah, that's what we need right now.
That's cool.
That's what we need right now.
That's a good thing. It's funny because right now is the time of year where a lot of coaches are available.
Well, he was saying one coordinator.
That is perfect.
He says one coordinator at a time. That's not how it works.
No.
The head coach goes, and the whole staff goes, and then you bring in a new head coach with his coordinators. So it's the whole thing. They can all go. The reason why he needs to go is because he has bad coordinators. If they were all doing their jobs, right, we wouldn't be saying much about Harbaugh, but they're not. He keeps bringing in the wrong people. So, no, Harbaugh can leave now. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Yeah, we need offense. That's what Ferris is saying. Kimberly says, "Owner of the Ravens hire a black coach on the team." Yes, look, some of our top candidates to take the job: Eric Bieniemy, Byron Leftwich. I like Todd Bowles. B thinks we need a more offensive-minded coach, but
but you know what? I do like Brian Flores though. Brian Flores did an outstanding job in Miami, I think.
Yes,
and if Baltimore had an opening, I would go after him as well.
Yeah. Omar B says we need tackles. Yes, and a center and probably a guard. Sancho Mack, what's up, my man? The best Batman who has ever voiced him in Mask of the Phantasm. That was
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah,
no, he's outstanding. He did the whole Batman animated series, best Batman stuff there is.
And Sancho agrees. He says we need O-line, and O-line. So, all right.
Shout out to Sancho for the Mask of the Phantasm reference.
know.
Man. I love that movie.
Yes,
love it.
Yes. All right. Okay. All right. Look, you guys, we're going to talk a lot more about this. You guys are passionate about this, and I feel like we barely scratched the surface. But right now, it's time for you gambling degenerates to get your pen and paper out, okay? Take down these hot takes. It is time for Lunch Money Bets with D Weezy. What's up, Derek?
What's going on, Derek?
What's going on, fellas?
How we doing, man?
Man, I'm doing all right. I finished up on the 2-3 week, which kind of sort of just seemed to be how things went on the season. but I'm not too worried about it. We're getting into playoffs. Things tend to sharpen up, lines tend to sharpen up. Um, I'm gonna keep it quick and simple. Y'all already covered the games for the most part. So I'm gonna be on Cincinnati minus 6.5. They're the favorite going into this one, like you might expect. 6, 7 can typically be sort of that golden number that within a touchdown range, sort of like a field goal. If you feel like it's going to be a close game and you feel like it might be inside that 3.5 because a field goal wins it. So yeah, I'm on Bengals minus 6 this week. Uh, I'm on Arizona as the favorites going into the Rams. The inconsistency we've seen out of the Rams offense. Like y'all said, things like Stafford, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a pick six. Maybe some sort of strip sack fumble that flipped the field that led to like a 14-point swing, 10-point swing, something like that. Cardinals getting 4 points in that situation. I'm happy with them. They were a team that played strong on the road all season long for the most part. So, yeah, give me that with the points. Going into Kansas City, yeah, everybody, them spreads, man. If any of those people believe in them predictions they was throwing out in the chat, you need to get to a book somewhere, find you an alternate line, and put money on that because you're talking like plus 500, plus 700. Like, I mean, woo. I'm on the Kansas City Chiefs minus 13, which is just wild playoff spread to see.
That's wild for the NFL period.
Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, we saw that a couple times this season, but you would think a team that made it to the playoffs would warrant better than almost a 2-touchdown underdog.
Little more respect.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder what some other teams would look like if the spread got put up on them against this team right now.
Yeah,
because I hadn't been y'all have heard me. I've not been a big backer of the Chiefs. I don't have them going deep into the playoffs. The playoffs are creeping up, folks. Things like future plays, things like that. If you want to get in on that, now is the time before things really kick off. Odds will only start to get shorter on teams that progress and so on. If you feel like a certain team, maybe the Packers or, the Chiefs might go all the way with that Super Bowl run, now the time's to get on them. Yeah, if you're in the Discord, you know what that means. All right, moving on. But yeah, so I'm going to be on Kansas City minus 13 this week. All right, so moving on to the next game. I like the Cowboys with this minus 3 spread. They're one of the favorites in the playoffs this year. Minus 3, strong team. Give me that. They're probably one of the healthiest teams going into the playoffs. One of the better, well put together teams. I mean, there's a reason why they're one of the favorites. It's that simple. It's sort of the same reason I'm on Tampa Bay minus the 9.5. Another large spread, but Tampa's playing strong, and it's you try and find holes and poke holes in the team, and when you can't find that many, there's a reason for it. And so yeah, that's a large spread. Yeah, they might not cover that, but playoff Tom Brady, do you want to bet against that? Because I don't.
I want to.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure if I want to.
You might want to, but when it comes to pulling that trigger, firing it off, it's like, man, do I want to do this? So, all right, going to my final game. Sort of in that same line of thinking. I can't go against Belichick. First round game. A team he's played twice this season. Josh Allen wasn't the same guy at the beginning of this or at the end of the season that he was in the beginning of the season. I think things started to catch up with that team a little bit, whether it be teams figuring them out a little bit, maybe just, you see in some games where, you might get the right bounces or just the right calls where it's nothing that stands out, but, you get enough of them, That's how you win a game sometimes. And, sometimes you rattle off a couple wins. Hell, the Panthers went 3-0 this season. Think about that, folks. The Panthers started out the season 3-0 and finished the season 2-14.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's about getting hot at the right times, being consistent at the right times. I'm not going against Belichick in the first round, getting 4 points. I'm on New England now. Yeah, and, like I said, with playoff futures and things like that, now's the time to get in because if you like a team like, the Chiefs or somebody to win the Super Bowl, you could potentially get the last I saw, Chiefs were like plus 450. If you like some of the longer odds with, maybe the Cardinals, I don't know what their number is off the top of my head, but maybe getting more in that plus 800, plus 900 range. The Bengals are probably more around plus 1,200, somewhere in that range. So, you start to, a bit of a longer shot, but it comes through, a little sprinkle is, something. Plus 1,200 turns out to be a pretty nice play to sit back and watch.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're in the Discord, like I said, I am trying to, spread out a little bit. College basketball is starting to heat up. I'm messing around with that. B want to hate on, my little Winthrop play. But the last time I checked, winning is winning. I
even if it's Mexican soccer.
Yeah, I told you I was coming with the jersey. Hold up.
Is that what that is? I was wondering what that was.
Oh, yeah. Club Americas. Get it straight.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. You think
You're taking this show into dark territory, my friend.
Exactly.
We have a soccer fan subscriber. I don't think what league is this? Is that a real league or is that like
Yeah, no, Liga MX.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had one subscriber that was a soccer fan. He found our channel by accident, and he was gracious enough to subscribe. I don't think he's ever came back to the show though. But if you're watching, here's your soccer. Okay.
Well, so you know what? But yeah, because I'm that crazy. I'll bring it to you. I was the guy with multiple World Series plays, but no, we don't talk baseball. You get out of here with that baseball. I was trying to come to the people, and nah, get out of here. You want to come on with this football? Yeah, yeah, come on with this football. Oh, that basketball, keep that back there.
We talk basketball here. We do basketball. Yeah. It's just not. Look. As the season comes to an end, there's gonna be a lot more basketball talk on this channel. So don't worry. We're gonna give you the Lunch Money Bets basketball version here pretty soon. All right. So, all right, our man D Weezy. If you like his picks, you like following along, and trust me, you want to follow along for the NBA because he's on fire with those picks. All right. And he ventures off into these other obscure sports. You wanna make your bets on those? Go right ahead.
Now, see, I don't think they're gonna be complaining when I come with the boxing angles because they're trying to put this other little channel and whatnot.
Okay.
Oh, what's the odds on such and such? What round?
All right. Look, you can find his work on our website, LBHTshow.com. He writes articles for the Panthers. He also hangs out with us on our Overtime Show, which you can find right after this show ends on our Patreon. Also on our Patreon, we have our Discord. He has his own channel on Discord, Lunch Money Bets. So sign up. We'll tell you in a minute how to sign up for that. And D Weezy, man, we're going to see you soon. We'll see you in the Overtime Show.
All right, everybody take care out there.
All right, man. Appreciate you coming through. All right. So real quick, if you want to be a part of the Overtime Show, you want to come hang out with us. D Weezy hangs out there. Suge usually hangs out there. Ferris. There's a whole bunch of us, man. It's a lot of fun. We talk about anything and everything. Also, we have a Discord right below me, patreon.com/LBHT Show. We have one tier right now. We got another tier getting ready to start up again pretty soon. So while the prices are low, because prices are going to be going up. Look, prices go up. That's just how it goes. But for now, B, tell them about the tier and the upcoming tier.
Yeah, so the $3 tier, you're going to get entrance into the Overtime Show, like Jose said. That's what we do every Wednesday after the live show. Talk about anything and everything. Like I said, a lot of people hanging out in there every week. It's a lot of fun. You also get entrance into our yearly NFL Pick'em League. where we give away a custom trophy. That one actually just came in the mail. Mikey, OTR Mike, won it this year, so we'll be delivering that trophy to him pretty soon.
Well, he can come get it. He lives right down the street from me. He can come get
it. That's not the kind of service we have over here at Lunch Break Hot Take. But anyway, when we come back with our other tiers, we're going to have a new LBHT Crew coin. Those are getting delivered pretty soon. That's going to get you entrance into our yearly fantasy football league. We're starting up a dynasty league this year where we give away a customized championship belt at the end of every season. Congratulations to our guy Deshaun, who won that this year. We're going to be getting that in the mail pretty soon.
Congrats, Deshaun.
It gets you the ability to request specific content, articles, videos, anything like that, any topic that you want. And also, again, all tiers get you entrance into the Discord channel.
Now, the coin, for those of you who haven't seen our original coin, there's no more of these. There's no more, okay? But we're working on a new one, okay? That's the founding members coin right there, all right? That's a beauty. Right, if you don't have one,
dare I say the new one looks better.
It looks nice. Right? It looks clean for sure. Look, we don't make bad stuff around here. Okay, like we deliver on what we promise. B doesn't have the championship belt, but if you haven't seen the championship belt, have you sent it off already?
No, but it's packed up.
It's packed up. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not in the mail yet. But it's
Deshaun will have to take a picture of it, but that thing is clean. Yeah. Okay. Look. You guys support the show. We put that money right back into the show, and we got another person signed up to Patreon. Okay, Yolanda B. Shout out to Yolanda. Appreciate you, Yolanda. Thank you, man. Yes. Brandon and Yolanda, you want to be awesome like them? Look, if you got $3, if you were planning on buying a Snickers bar or 2 Snickers bars, okay, save the calories and get you something that's more fulfilling. How about that? Oh. Also, check out the merch, okay? If you like what we're wearing, if you want to get you something to keep your liquids cold, even though it's wintertime, put something hot in there, okay? Get you a mug to put your warm liquids in. We also have a magic mug that will change into something spectacular when you put some hot liquids in that mug. All right, all that's on the store. LBHTshow.com/shop. All right. And we got a donation. Shout out to OTR Mike. He says, make sure y'all handle my trophy with care. It's here, my friend. I meant to call you earlier. I'll meet up with you, and you will have that trophy. Mikey and Deshaun, I want you both to take a picture. I'll take a picture of Mike with the trophy. And Deshaun, take a picture with you sporting that nice championship belt. We'll post it on the site. We'll post it on our social media. And make sure you guys are following us on social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT Show. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Overtime. To start off the overtime show, not overtime. Bonus time. To start the bonus time show, we were talking about Dallas. And it made me think, if they were to win the Super Bowl, Mike McCarthy, do we have to go back and say it wasn't him, it was Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Okay.
No, he's a bad coach.
Oh, okay.
He's a bad coach. He's holding Dallas back. But Dallas is insanely talented.
I tried Mike McCarthy. I tried. But okay. How will it be spun though?
Oh, it'll be spun that he's a great coach.
2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
2 Super Bowls. On 2 different teams, and if he wins, especially over Aaron Rodgers, that's definitely going to be the narrative. And I won't even feel bad because Aaron Rodgers is a jerk, right? He makes it difficult on coaches. He got Mike McCarthy fired. I'm not even going to say he was wrong about that, but he got him fired, right? He wasn't, initially. He was
holding out this year. I'm not coming. You better go trade for Randall Cobb. Don't nobody want Randall Cobb. He didn't want Randall Cobb. He just wanted to make them do it.
Man, if they lost to Dallas in the NFC Championship game,
a year after they lost to Tom Brady, yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Oh man, there's so much going on in this playoffs, man. This is gonna be a fun playoffs.
Yeah.
All right, and we got another person signed to Patreon. Who is that?
Darren E.
Darren E. Hey, thank you guys. I gotta change out this animation too, because look, there's all kinds of bells and whistles on this software that we're using that I'm just learning how to use. It's showing the animation of the little zombie. It has a name on the bottom, but I'm gonna change the font so you can see it better. Man, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you very much. And yes, the overtime show will happen right after we finish up this show. So if you guys want to be a part of that, the link is already there on Patreon. Once you sign up, it should give you all the instructions to our page. Like, you should see our posts and everything. You can just click on it. And yeah, man, we just hang out. We talk about whatever. So you can put something in the chat. You want to bring something up. Also, sign up for our Discord. Right, the link should be on Patreon as well.
Yeah.
If you need any help with that, just hit us up and we'll get you in the right place. All right, let's read some of these comments because people have a lot to say here. They have a lot to say. Brian Flores, If Brian Flores, this is from Mikey. If Brian Flores can find an organization that appreciates him, he can have a Tomlin-like run. Yep, I said it. I think he's that good. I think he's that good too, man. I mean, look, I don't want to compare him to Mike Tomlin because Mike Tomlin's one of the best ever, but he's good.
James Hasty, who's a former defensive back, longtime defensive back in the NFL, he's running an agency now, a consulting agency that is out there to help teams find head coaches, evaluate potential head coaches.
Yeah.
And he was interviewing with Adam Schefter, and Schefter asked him, is there anybody out there who kind of stands out, amongst the crowd as a guy who should get a job? And his answer was Eric Bieniemy. He's like, obviously, he's the guy. He's been the guy for a couple of years. He has a grading system. I guess he said the data says that he's the guy. He's the one you want, and it graded him out as a B+. And what he said is, like, the Hall of Fame coaches, your Belichick's, your Shula's, your Mike Tomlin's, they're in the A range. And a B plus is just, half a step down.
Yeah.
And that's what you're kind of looking at with Eric Bieniemy. So, I like Brian Flores a lot. I think he should still have his job in Miami. But, he lost it. So I think he should get another job in this cycle. But obviously the number one coach out there has got to be Eric B.
I wonder what he uses for his grading system. Like, how does he determine?
It was just a short clip that I saw, so he didn't really get into it. But I'm sure, if he has a website or something like that, they go into more detail.
Yeah. Yeah. Danny says, "Oh, let's talk about Flores. They did him filthy."
Yes.
Yeah. Look, it's the rumor is, he had a difference of opinion, or like he wasn't getting along with the GM, over Tua. Now, this is if this is true, if this is to be believed, it's a tough situation, right? Because you have a coach that, I mean, they started out bad, but then he rattled off 7 wins in a row.
Mm-hmm.
7 wins in a row. You finished.
So they ended up with 10 wins last year, 9 wins this year.
So back-to-back winning seasons after being a terrible team. Look, this team was awful, right?
Yeah. So
he's developing a winning culture there, right? And you're gonna have even more picks this year to add to that team. Now, it's hard to fire a coach after that. It's hard to see him turn it around. But if the rumor is true, the rumor is he didn't want Tua. He wanted what's the name?
Deshaun Watson.
No. The from the Chargers.
No. He wanted Deshaun Watson.
No. During the draft, he didn't want to draft Tua to begin with.
Well, yeah, I don't think it was that he preferred Justin Herbert. I don't think that was the story. It was just that he didn't want Tua.
No, this is what Shannon Sharp was saying earlier, right? He was saying that that's what he's hearing. He wanted Herbert over Tua, got overruled, right? So that's going to cause animosity right there. And then, then he wanted Deshaun Watson, and the owner was just like, I don't want Deshaun Watson. So now, he's basically saying, I just don't think I can win with Tua, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well, you have to go. Now, if that's the case, I got to agree with that. If you get your quarterback and you believe that's your guy, that's your guy. And if your coach ain't on board with it, coach got to go.
But I'll say this. Generally speaking, I agree with that.
Yes.
But he was right. He was right about Justin
that
Herbert
too.
over
Yes.
Tua.
Oh, hold on, B.
Right.
We got another person. What? Almighty D signed up to the Patreon. Shout out to you guys, man.
Thank you.
Wow, this is a historic day on LBHT here, man. Man, that's what's up. Thank you guys.
But we did get a Cash App as well, an anonymous Cash App. When will Mr. Jackson have intelligent coaches? I think John's an intelligent guy. He's just
he's an egotistical guy.
He's not a great offensive coach. He's not a great coach for Lamar. It's starting to look like, obviously Harbaugh's going to be back, right? I hate to say that it's starting to look like Greg Roman will be back as well, but it's kind of starting to look like that. I still think that there's a good shot that they kind of part ways and they just promote T. Martin.
So
every day that goes by, it looks worse.
So there's a rumor today that Harbaugh was supposed to speak to the media today, but there's something going on behind the scenes with the coaching staff, some sort of shakeup, and it got pushed back. So maybe they're waiting to see how everything shakes out before he speaks to the media about possible coaching changes. Maybe he's a coaching change.
No. But yeah. So it's going to be at least another year is my answer before Lamar has the coaching staff he wants, and probably not after a year. But going back to Flores, he was right about Justin Herbert over Tua. Justin Herbert is a much better quarterback than Tua. And, I don't dislike Tua, but, that's just a fact. Like, you can't deny that. But, okay, you got Tua. That's your guy, right? Except he is the reason that Deshaun Watson wanted to come to Miami. Now, if you as a GM and you as an owner can't look at Deshaun Watson and say, you know what, he is better than Tua, we've got a better chance of winning with this guy than we do with Tua, you're just wrong. And that's not an organization that anybody should be trying to work for.
Now, obviously the legal issues with him might be a concern, right? I get that part. But typically, what we've been seeing lately is when you get a brand new head coach, they usually have a good amount of say in personnel, especially at quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. So your new head coach, you have a draft pick, you want to pick the quarterback. Like it's tough, right? Because I know he's a first-time head coach, and if you feel like, so it should be established. Let me say this: it should be established when you hire somebody. Hey, this is how much control that you have. This is how much say that you have, right? You're a first-time head coach, so we're not going to give you that control, but we'll take your input, obviously. So that, okay, fine. But if it's understood that, yeah, you're going to have a good amount of say here, then you got to let the man pick his quarterback. Mm-hmm. So it's a thin line, man. It's a thin line because the opposite side of it is Matt Rule, right? You let Matt Rule call all the shots, and he says we don't need Justin Herbert, and you're like, okay, not Justin Herbert, Justin Fields. You don't need Justin Fields, and you pass up on Justin Fields. It's like, man, we should have taken Justin Fields, huh? Right? Like,
well, and that's something I kind of want to talk about as well. Like with the fact that Matt Rule hasn't been fired yet, even though he lost. He went winless against all of the coaches who have been fired so far, which is an amazing stat. And even though they fired his offensive coordinator and special teams coordinator and a couple other coaches, it's everybody's fault but Matt's fault, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and you know what? I'm not even that mad about it because I think had they fired Matt Rule, the Panthers are the worst job available at this point. Like, it's the worst situation because you let Matt Rule and Scott Fitterer just piss away picks. You traded for Stephon Gilmore. He's a free agent. They haven't extended him. Maybe they do. Maybe they get something done, but they haven't yet. They traded for C.J. Henderson, and predictably, the team that wanted to bail on their top 10 pick after 8 games was right about their top 10 pick not being so great. Yeah. He got to Carolina, and he hasn't shown anything that would indicate that was a good move. So they're missing second and third round picks. They have no O-line. They have no quarterback. Even if they try to move on from Sam Darnold, they're still stuck paying him. And, the defense, which had performed pretty well, has a lot of key free agents who, if they re-sign them, is going to, hurt their ability to actually rebuild the O-line. So I think that Matt Rule can just sit there and survey the scorched earth that he brought to Carolina for another year or however long he lasts in the next season, and then you can kind of just reset the whole franchise the following year. But right now, I mean, I don't see Byron Leftwich or Eric Bieniemy or Brian Flores or any of these guys saying yes to coming and being the head coach in Carolina for maybe a year or two and getting fired and then never getting another shot.
Yeah. Look, for Matt Rule, look, the talk is, they're looking at some other offensive coordinators, some with experience. So maybe you get somebody that's a coach in waiting per se. So, 5 games in, you're sick of Matt Rule. This guy can take over. You can fire Matt Rule, and this guy can take over as your interim, possibly future head coach.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more comments, and let's get up out of here. Kimberly says, Tampa Bay, the best team. They still got Tom Brady on the team. Look, I mean, they're defensive Super Bowl champions, so I'm not going to argue that. I just hope they lose. Let's see. Let me scroll down here. Our man Caleb, the Dallas fan, is here. He says, I still don't know what McCarthy does, but we still win. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Brandon says, got him fired. I mean, Green Bay did lose to a Rosen-led Arizona offense. Yeah, but they also won a Super Bowl. And, look, Rodgers just berating the coach every week. That's what's so funny, man. Like, Rodgers gets away with a whole lot. And somebody was comparing Aaron Rodgers to AB earlier. Was that Suge?
Colin from Real Sports.
Yes.
He said that Aaron Rodgers is the white Antonio Brown because he's out here doing a lot. He's doing a lot, and he's not really getting any kind of backlash for it.
There's a lot of parallels.
After the whole, I'm immunized and I don't follow these rules because I don't think that they make sense. Yeah, some people called him an idiot on Twitter, and he put on his victim pants and started strutting around everywhere. But he didn't have any real consequences. Like, it's ridiculous.
All right, John Hazev Ali, what's going on? He says teams are firing their useless coaches and moving towards better future, whereas Ravens front office is sleeping as usual. And he also says EDC and Harbaugh is the reason Ravens won't be going to the Super Bowl for a very long time. Look, man, we'll see. It's still early. Like, the Ravens always move to their own beat, right? March to their own drum beat. So they don't do things when everybody else does it. They're like, we don't believe in Black Mondays. We'll do Black Thursday, right? Like, they just won't do it on the same day as everybody else because they want to be different. Doesn't mean that changes won't be made. And I feel like if it's true that Harbaugh was supposed to go talk to me today and something may have happened to where they pushed it back, maybe there are going to be some changes. We do know this, that there's talk that Wink might be getting interviewed. It says that possibly Ferris, the Giants might be interested in Wink. They said they were interested in Wink and they chose Joe Judge over him, and there might be some regrets in the organization, so maybe they're circling back. And maybe Wink might be the one gone first, at least. Yeah. No. Hey, look. Yeah, boss, what's going on? He says, thoughts on the Steelers. Listen, I'll tell you this, boss. Scroll up in the chat a little ways, and you will see how people feel about that Steelers and Chiefs game. It is not good. I don't think the Steelers are going to win that game. I think they're going to lose by multiple scores. Double-digit scores. I'll say that, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as some people were saying. But they're definitely going to lose. Danny says Rule fired everyone. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and I don't like that, man. I don't like coaches who will sacrifice their entire staff to save themselves because it never works.
No,
that's one thing. It never works. One, you're a jerk. Like, you put that staff together. You were the leader of that group. And you're saying, hey, all of you are terrible at your jobs. I'm going to stay back and get this turned around. All y'all need to go. Like, that's coward stuff to begin with. But second, it never works. You always get fired the next year.
Yeah, because the owner wants you gone that year. He just wants you to quit, and you're just like, no, I'll stay. All right. Mm-hmm. Andre Mears, what's up? He says Flores definitely should be pissed if he could have had Herbert. Yeah.
Yeah, they could have. They took Tua over Herbert.
So here's the thing. Sometimes you just gotta work with what you got, right? This is what it is. If I can understand for him as a black head coach, that constant sense of urgency, which is why I said I want a black head coach here, because they understand there's a higher sense of urgency for them. But I think he coached that way the whole time he was there, right? Not really giving Tua a chance to go out there and play, even though he didn't look bad to begin with, but he's just like, not good enough. We have to make the playoffs now. We have to win now because I'm being evaluated right now, right? Like I don't get that same time. So I get that. But you got what you got. They made the decision and you got to work with it. And look, I don't know how they got to the point where they said, we're going to let you go. Was it a mutual thing? Was it, hey, I don't want to go forward to it's him or me? And they said, you got to go? Or did he just kind of said, hey, look, I got concerns about Tua? Either way, like, I'm going to be honest. If I'm the owner or the GM and we draft somebody, like let's say it's Lamar. Let's just say it's Lamar. And the coach that we have there says, I don't think we can win this with this guy. The coach is gone. I'm not even thinking twice about it. He's gone. Right? Like you're not the guy. You're not the guy for this team, because you're always going to, whether you mean to or subconscious, like you're always going to hold him back, right? Because you're not really putting your faith in him. You're going to hold him back one way or another. So if that's the case, man, it's tough, and I don't want to see any black head coach lose their job. But I mean, look, the Dolphins are wrong anyway because they got the wrong quarterback. Let's just be real about that. But if they decided that's their quarterback, man. You gotta be quiet about that. Tony says, I'm so mad that my cousin's mama won't put the dad out. He's ruined the team in under a season. Huh? Won't put it. I missed something. I missed something, Tony. Put that in there again. I missed that. Zaul Martinez says a lot of people in New York want Flores, but are looking for a GM as well. Do you give Flores power to say who's the GM, or hire a GM and let the GM pick the coach?
You hire the GM. Flores, he's done a good job in Miami, but he hasn't gotten to the point. I don't think that coaches should have GM powers, period. But you shouldn't even be talking about that until you're a well-established head coach, a great head coach, before you even start talking about that. So they need to go find their GM and then conduct a search. But I think Flores would be a good hire in New York as well.
Yeah.
As long as they let him move on from Daniel Jones.
And Mikey says, if of all the openings, what job best fits Flores?
I'm trying to think even off the top of my head what all the openings are.
Danity says she likes the Bears.
Yeah, but the Bears are looking like they're going to get Jim Harbaugh. I do think I kind of agree. The Bears have a great defense, a good young quarterback. Again, it all depends on what he thinks about Justin Fields. The Vikings also, I think that's a good spot for him. That's a talented team.
Oh yeah.
And Kirk Cousins is at a point with his contract where they can move on from him. If that's what he wanted. Kirk is he's not the worst quarterback. So if you decide, hey, we're just going to play it out with him, that can work. Or you can try to move on from him and bring somebody else in. So yeah, I think Minnesota and Chicago are good fits.
Okay, all right.
Preferably Chicago.
Nitro says, I swear to God, if the Steelers go on a Cinderella run, I refuse to watch any football next year. If they go on a Cinderella run, we're going to have a lot to talk about with the Ravens because, like I said, no more excuses. I am sick of the excuses that I see on Twitter from just regular Ravens fans and the Twitter gatekeepers for the Ravens. All right. Like, I'm sick of it. Don't talk to me about injuries anymore. That is not the reason why we're sitting home right now. No. Injuries didn't do that. Right? That was just being a poorly coach team. And we got another donation from Anonymous here. Appreciate you, Anonymous. Says, will Mr. Andrews have less targets in 2022? It's a good question.
Yeah. Assuming they're healthy, yes. Rashad Bateman's going to soak up a lot more targets than he got this season.
Yeah.
Hollywood's going to get the same number of targets that, or roughly the same number of targets that he got. And, if Greg Roman is back, they're going to throw the ball less than they did this year because presumably they're going to fix the O-line or at least improve the O-line. And they're going to have J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards back, so they're going to run the ball more. They're going to pass the ball less, and Rashad Bateman is going to eat into those targets.
Yeah, hopefully. And hopefully we get even better wide receiver on the team. Look, I don't think we need to get rid of Hollywood, right? But we can add another wide receiver. Sammy Watkins better not be back here. I know that.
I think they do just because they've got one more year and then they have to pay him.
Yeah.
If you can move him for something, a good pick, yeah, and because you're at this point with the way he's played, I don't think anybody wants to pay Hollywood. He would have to come back and have a very good year next year.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But we do need to get another wide receiver. But, hopefully – I mean, look, maybe not. Maybe if we get a new coordinator or a new coach, the offense changes. We do a lot more passing, and maybe Andrews' targets don't have to go down. Right? I think we need to do a lot less running next year, especially if we're not going to let our running backs run. All right. Matt Williams wants to know our MVP hot takes for the season.
Man, well, I mean, it's just at this point, it's down to Rodgers and Brady.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor doesn't really have a shot. Cooper Kupp doesn't really have a shot. I think they give it to Rodgers.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Rodgers. Yeah, it's Rodgers. Okay, a couple more, and we are out of here. We're gonna fire with the overtime. See, Iron Addict, what's going on? It says Boykin's going to tight end. He's gained a lot of weight this year. Who cares, man? Until I actually see him do something, I don't care about that.
He can't play. That's all it is. Yeah. He can't play. So it doesn't matter what position you put him in. It's like you remember the old Ravens tight end Crockett Gilmore. He went to tackle. You never heard from him again. Can't play.
Oh, Tony is explaining what he said. He says the Panthers are our cousin team and Rule is the father. They just won't put him out. Oh, yeah. Yes. The alcoholic father.
That's not nice.
He can tell you, get rid of that bum. Then he looked that way when he was talking about Darnold the other day. He looked like he knocked down a couple of cold ones, right? He's just like, look, we figured we pick up a fifth year option. We thought it'd be cheaper that way, and here we are. Can you repeat the question? He looks so nervous. All right, we're gonna end it there, guys. Thank you so much.
Just one last thing, real quick. There's a guy on Twitter who has a website, the NFL Index. It's a really powerful website, really useful site. You can kind of look up any stats you want. Like earlier, I went up and I looked up how many receptions does Mark Andrews have where he got more than 10 yards after the catch. Like you can you put in whatever thing you want. It'll come back with a list. But he came up with a quarterback comparison tool for seasons, and they put in Zach Wilson, his rookie season this year, and the two most comparable quarterback seasons to Zach Wilson were Sam Darnold this year and Sam Darnold last year with the Jets. So, bravo, New
York. Consistency, right?
Incredible.
Oh, Lord. All right, we're going to talk more about this in the overtime show.
Hang on. We did get one more anonymous Cash App here. Let me get this in real quick.
Hey, man, thank you, guys. I was going to say, look, thank you guys for all the support, man. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. And shout out to all the new patrons today, man. Look, you're going to have a lot of fun. I promise you that. You ready there? B needs a second. Hold on. B needs a second. I'll read one more. There we go. And he says, will Mr. Jackson be in a spread offense in 2022? He should be.
I don't think he will. Like I said, I think they're not going to change a whole lot from what they're doing right now. Even if they move on from Greg Roman, I don't think they're going to go with an outside hire. I think they're going to go with just promoting somebody internally, and I think you're going to see, largely the same offense, but better executed. Better play calling.
All right, we're going to talk more about this in the Overtime Show because I have a few more thoughts on this. And, yeah, you want to be a part of Overtime Show, patreon.com/LBHT Show. And, yes, like C.I. Addict says, hit the like button, family. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you very much. So, don't know about this weekend if we're going to stream after one of these games. Maybe the following weekend we might stream after one of these games. But we'll be back in some capacity. But you can see us right now if you want to. Patrons, give us a couple of minutes. And we're going to get that started. Everybody else, have a good night. B, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
B is ready. All right, y'all. See you next time. Peace out.